The man who wrote the manual on happiness spent his youth wanting to die. Bertrand Russell said so himself. As a boy, he hated life and was continually on the verge of suicide. What stopped him, he said, was the wish to know more mathematics. He lived to be 97, and he enjoyed it more with every year that passed. So what did he find out? He begins with a question that sounds childish until you try to answer it. Animals are happy, he says, so long as they have their health and enough to eat. A dog with a full bowl asks for nothing else. Human beings have their health. They have more than enough to eat. And they are miserable, not from hunger, not from war. Miserable on an ordinary Tuesday with nothing wrong is the unhappiness Russell wants to talk about. And his claim is that it is not happening to you. You are doing it. He builds the book in 4 moves. First, what the unhappiness actually is. Then, the prisons we build for ourselves. Then, the way out. And finally, the man who got out. The problem. Russell tells you to go and look. Stand on a main road on a weekend and watch the traffic. Every driver is trying to pass the car in front of him. None of them can, because of the crowd. And when a passenger's mind drifts off that one obsession, here is what Russell says happens. Unutterable boredom seizes upon them and stamps their features with trivial discontent. Then he tells you to watch the same people at a party. They arrive determined to enjoy themselves. His words. The kind of grim resolve with which one determines not to make a fuss at the dentist's. Pleasure pursued like a dental appointment. That is the diagnosis. 2. The prisons of the mind. All of them are made of you. Russell says the unhappy man is a man turned inward, and he gives 3 ways of doing it. The sinner. Not a criminal. A man being punished by a conscience assembled for him in the nursery, running rules he stopped believing at 20. He feels guilty and cannot name the crime because there isn't one. Narcissist. Addicted to admiration, so everything he does is a performance. And here is the trap: a man interested only in himself is not interesting. The admiration never comes. The megalomaniac. He wants power and would rather be feared than loved. Russell's observation is quietly brutal. This man was almost always humiliated once. Now no amount of largeness is enough, because the appetite grows with feeding. 1 room. Then Russell turns on the machine that manufactures these men, and this is the chapter that has aged the best. Men call it the struggle for life. It is not. Almost nobody in a comfortable country is fighting to survive. What they are fighting is the struggle for success, the fear, not of going without breakfast, but of being outshone by the neighbor. It is paid for with the only 2 things that were ever going to make them happy. Leisure goes. Then the mind goes. He puts a number on it. Almost every American, he writes, would sooner get 8% from a risky investment than 4% from a safe one. Not because he needs the money. Because of ostentation. Because of outshining the men who used to be his equals. He buys the bigger house. He is too tired to live in it. And then Russell says something nobody expects. Less bored than our ancestors. Imagine the monotony of winter in a medieval village. No reading, 1 candle, 1 fire, the roads impassable for months. We escaped that. But we did not learn to sit still. We have a horror of boredom, and it is the fleeing that wrecks the nerves. A generation that cannot endure boredom, he warns, will be a generation of little men. 3. The way out, and it points outward. Russell is practical, so here is the practice. Outward. Build interests that have no stake in you. Things that do not care whether you succeed, except quiet. The slow rhythms of nature are not a waste of a life. They are the condition of enjoying one. Master the clock in your head. Think about a trouble at the hour when you can act on it, and not at 3 in the morning, when you can only rehearse it. Face the fear. Look straight at the worst thing you can imagine. Think about it in detail until the horror wears off and the thing becomes, and this is the point, boring. Then he hands you the cure for the feeling that everyone is talking about you. Count, he says. For every one time you spoke a criticism of someone out loud, there were about 100 times you thought it and said nothing. Now everyone else works exactly the same way, not talking about you. They are thinking about themselves, which is what you were doing too. And under all of it, the thing he keeps coming back to contact with the earth. A small child put its hands into the dirt for the first time. That joy is not a charming detail. It is an organic need. And a frantic, competing, hurrying life starves it. Happy life must be to a great extent a quiet life. Part 4. The Man Who Got Out. Happy man, Russell says, is the man who is not divided, not at war inside himself, no civil war between what he wants and what he was taught to want, and not at war with the world, defending a border around his ego that nobody was attacking. Once that war ends, something enormous happens. All the energy that was spent guarding the wall is suddenly free, and it has nowhere to go but out. Which is the whole book in one line. Nothing is so dull as to be encased in self, nothing so exhilarating as to have attention and energy directed outwards. Read it again. Your happiness is not in there, waiting to be found by more looking inward. The looking inward is the cage. And these are the last 2 sentences he wrote. Such a man feels himself a citizen of the universe, untroubled by the thought of death, because he feels himself not really separate from those who will come after him. It is in such profound instinctive union with the stream of life that the greatest joy is to be found. Russell was not writing theory. He was writing down what carried a boy who wanted to kill himself all the way to 97. Still curious, still hungry, still writing. He was not given happiness. He went out and took it.